First Suresearch meeting went ahead back in 2000. The group's been very successful. We used to meet 6 times a year. That was every other month. But I soon realised with my own membership of the group, I put forward a few other people that we should go monthly because we were so successful. As you can see, we're still going strong on our monthly meetings. We've had a wonderful time here at the centre, but we shouldn't forget some of the history back before we came here to the centre, because we've had some wonderful times over at the tower and at conferences and trips. We're running right through till 3:30. As I say, there have been some changes and so. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Professor Anne Davies, who is one of the founder members of Suresearch and a very respected and well-loved person of Suresearch.
It's lovely to be here at the 10th anniversary of Suresearch, and I just wanted to take the opportunity of the time you've given me to say something about Suresearch, about the difference that Suresearch has made in my life. As Adrian mentioned, I'm part of the history of Suresearch, in that I, as well as some other people here, were at the very, very first meeting of, and it wasn't Suresearch, because we hadn't understood that that's what it would become. Our discussions took off. You know, it was one of those moments when people suddenly said, it was great listening to this, it was great being here. And some people began to talk of how lonely it was, being a service user consultant, being a service user researcher, without a network and a support system to talk about. And we decided that day to meet in 2 months' time to see whether meeting every couple of months would provide support for people interested in service user involvement in teaching and research. So that's what we did. And 2 months after that date, when we met, Tony Glynn and 1 or 2 other people had thought of names to call this support group. And Suresearch, Service User Research, was voted as the name that people wanted to go ahead with. People thought it sounded solid. It sounded like we knew where we were going and we were out there to investigate. And for all of those reasons, we called ourselves Suresearch. So what will the next few years bring for Suresearch? As everybody knows, this fantastic place that we've designed has been so wonderful that the university has got other ideas about it. But our Centre for Excellence in Mental Health will be returning to the Muirhead Tower, which is now refurbished and has got some wonderful spaces in for teaching and research. We will be carrying on, hopefully, with the centre, with our partnerships with Suresearch, if that's the direction that Suresearch decides to go. And I, as an ally of Suresearch, am very interesting to see what plans Suresearch has for the future. But certainly, I really want to have discussions about how we can work in the future around the centre there. So I look on with relish to what the next few years will bring, hoping that wherever you do, Suresearch members, there'll still be a place in your heart to carry on with what the centre will become as it returns to the Muirhead Tower. Thank you.
I'd just like to introduce Paul, who's agreed to speak to us today. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, Anne. It was nice to hear a bit of deep history of Suresearch. Thank you very much for asking me to speak here today, because I think there have been some great successes, and I really see the future Suresearch being a part of that success. So if you bear with me, I purposely put in that title and use the word fitting in, and I thought I'd sort of be a little bit naughty, because I'm not quite sure in many ways Suresearch should wholly fit in, because I think a forum like Suresearch, yes, we work very much in partnership and collaboration with Suresearch, but I think as well, I think you should always be a little bit of thorn in the side of people like me. You should always be challenging what I'm saying and what researchers are saying. So I think we have a very good partnership and we've done very good collaborative work through a number of events, and I think we have a very comfortable relationship, but I don't think it should be too cosy. In regards to the future, I know things have been a little bit unsettled about the future. You have my full support. If there are any sort of funding issues, as long as funding isn't too great, if there are any funding issues, then please get in touch, because you will certainly get a commitment from us to keep this group going. Okay, thank you very much for letting me speak.
Because what was important was the kind of welcome that we got there, which was non-judgmental and very welcoming. I think it's, I mean, I hope this morning has kind of brought out just how important these kind of organisations are for mental health service users. And I just thought, you know, this is a really interesting organisation. It's really important to record what people have been doing. So I put together a folder about that thing, and I think it's now blossomed into a whole room with it. I haven't seen it myself yet. But I think it gives you some ideas of some of the things that we've done together and how people have blossomed and gone on to make their own very special contributions to rewriting the story. I've been part of many conferences and events which have inspired and encouraged me, and certainly I would not have been employed here as a user involvement coordinator without my experience in Suresearch.
At 13, she was crushed by a comment from a school nurse to the effect that she was overweight for her height. This triggered ongoing adolescent eating disorders.
What's happening now? She says, we're talking about writing to the writers group, and she says, you can stay if you want. So I had another cup of tea and I stayed, and that was about 7 years ago. So now I have quite a lot to do with the group. The group meets every 6 weeks or so here at the centre, has done for quite a few years, and it's an open meeting. Everybody is invited. Very open to ideas and for people to publish in lots of different ways, in magazines, in newspapers, on the internet, all of these things, and we support each other in our writing. So I'm very proud to be a part of the writers group and to be able to hold it here at the centre as part of my work, and that's in general about what the writers group is.
I'd like to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity to actually speak for a few minutes. I haven't been a member of Suresearch for very long, but during the time that I have, I've met many wonderful people who have inspired me and helped in my recovery. I pay particular tribute to the writers group, who have given me a platform to launch my e-book entitled Aspects of Life. If you can find it in your heart to read my book, a donation actually goes to the Chipmunker charity, and I'd like to once again thank everyone in the centre who's helped me to come this far.
I'll just clear up one thing at the beginning, that wearing spectacle cords is not a prerequisite for being a member of the writers group. The first poem is called Herb Gardner. Once upon a sprig of time, Herbie wrote a silly rhyme. He did such verse to special order, but not for his wife, not on your life, for anything herbaceous border. Thank you, Janie. Life policy. She died and left him all alone, sad and lonely on his own. But the wise old owl was one who knew he'd find another twig to woo.
I'm Jean Jeffries, and a member of Suresearch. I've been a member of Suresearch for about 8 years. I first became involved when I went to a a conference put on by the Birmingham University. It was called Women's Voices for Women's Choices. I went and I enjoyed the day very much, and at the end of the day I was invited to do a soapbox, which I did. And I just don't remember really what I said now, but about 3 weeks to 4 weeks later, I had a letter from Birmingham University from Anne Davis inviting me to a Suresearch meeting. And that's when my new life started. Research work, and it was at Aston University. Oh, what a struggle that was, but what fun we had, my friend and I, running around trying to get service users to fill our forms in and talk to us. And I believe that whatever we had to do, that things would change for the better for the service users.
We've been arguing about F or an F sharp. I want the F, she makes me do the F sharp.
Not.
So I tighten my trousers up.
It's all lies. All right.
To see Madame of Bedlam, 10,000 miles I'll travel. Mad Maudlin goes on dirty toes to save her shoes from gravel. And I will sing bonny boys, bonny mad boys, Bedlam boys are bonny.
Won't you be my baby child, won't you be my own? Bring me greater happiness than I have ever known. I will be your mama, love you every day, hold you safely in my arm and put the world away. And there's no more children for me.
Well, my name's Tracy Holly, and I think I must have been coming to the centre and to Suresearch meetings, must be about up to 4 years now. I couldn't believe how autonomous it was for the first time, and the fact that it was a meeting for service users by service users. There was no like hierarchy or anybody better than anyone else. Professionals or service providers would actually come to our meeting to either consult with us or ask us to join them in a project that they were doing. And not only did you get the camaraderie from your fellow members sitting around in a big circle, it was very informal, that's what I liked about it as well. But you got outside people from professions or a higher education, like tutors and people like that, coming in asking our advice, and I thought that was absolutely amazing. And I was a timid, a sort of little service user who was used to being told what to do, really. Now, after my work and involvement with the Suresearch group, they involve you in such a way that you're actually integral to for instance, a teaching process, or integral to that meeting. It's just been absolutely amazing, and it's turned my life around, actually, and that's a big bonus for me.